Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Sustainable Talks with Maria J. Today's episode is brought to you by me and a bit of Google research. So for today, I wanted to explore what sustainable living means and how you can do it. You know, sustainability has been thrown around a lot and it does encompass a bit of everything. So I thought I might break it down to you how you guys can try to live a bit more sustainably. And what actions you can carry out or take upon and implement some small changes in your daily habits to have a more sustainable life and to, make the environment a little bit of a better place. I'm just going to provide a short list, but there are countless of things that you guys can do, and you guys can do your own little Google research and find out what's out there. So firstly, to start off, what is sustainability? Or more importantly, what is sustainable living? And then we'll delve into how we can do it. So to live sustainably essentially means to live in a manner that you are conscious of your actions and you are reducing your environmental impact. And you prioritize the avoidance of excess consumption and creating excess wastage. Very briefly summarized. Now, there are many ways to do this. None of them are wrong. So to live sustainably, it doesn't mean you have to go and live in like an eco village out in the woods. It doesn't mean you have to throw out everything you have right now, all the plastic crap in your life, and go out and buy glass stuff and, glass lunchboxes, bamboo lunchboxes, reusable steel lunchboxes, or what have you not. It doesn't mean any of that. It essentially means to use what you currently have and to make the most of it. And then if it breaks or if it runs out, then, go out and make a purchase with a conscious mind and purchase something that has a lesser of a footprint on the environment. So for example, when you get like those takeaway boxes from like fast food joints or restaurants, taking them home and not just using it once, but actually those boxes are reusable, so you can reuse it a couple times until it cracks or breaks, and then when that happens, then you recycle it. So essentially it's not just using things in a singular manner, but also thinking outside the box of how you can prolong the life of something. It also covers taking care of your things, taking care of your kitchenware, taking care of your vacuum cleaner, and clean it regularly, so that way its life can be extended, and that way it can be more useful for you. Because there's nothing worse than having a vacuum cleaner that doesn't have great suction because it's not cleaned enough or it's not emptied enough, and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's just being conscious of your actions, conscious of how you treat things and other people. It covers a lot of things. It's a very, very wide scope. But yeah, so it's a process of learning. Most definitely, this is the key. It's a process of learning and having an open mind and making positive choices to have a benefit on the environment. It's a slow transitional process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be like, tomorrow I want to have a sustainable lifestyle, and then wake up and that's it. No, it's baby steps. It's planning. It's trial. What's that term? It's trying things out. It's seeing how things fit in your current lifestyle and whether you are able to make that change and whether it's easy for you. So it's not a quick and easy thing to do. It's a habitual thing, and it's gonna take time. That said, living sustainably can be incredibly overwhelming at first, especially if you decide to do like 5 or 6 different things at the same time. If you decide to, just cull everything in your life and buy everything brand new, sustainable, that's a waste of money, and it's a waste of your time and effort, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. So we're going to break down a few steps, and I'm going to give you a few tips that you can try and implement in your life to have a bit more of a sustainable life. And once you get used to a certain action or doing things a certain way or thinking of things in a certain way, you'll slowly pick up other actions and other habits, and before you know it, you will be having a much more sustainable lifestyle. But the key word here is sustainable. Sustainable comes from the word sustain, which means being able to do things for over a long period of time. So if you find yourself overwhelmed, struggling, exhausted, or unhappy, then stop whatever action you've decided to take upon, and have a moment to reflect and think about why you're struggling so much or why you're feeling this way, and switch it up, because doing something that makes you unhappy or leaves you feeling exhausted is not sustainable, because you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to feel unhappy, and it's not worth it. There's no point in trying to save the environment if you can't look after yourself first. So that's the key point. Make sure that the things that you are doing are easy in your life, and set up like small targets for yourself. Try to do baby steps. Just choose one to start off with and see how you go. And if you want, document it, keep a journal or a diary, and see how it goes. So let's dive into my beginner's guide to live sustainably. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to do is ask yourself, what are your values? What do you value in life the most? And in the process of doing this, grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or beverage of some sort, a pencil and pen, and just take 5 minutes to think about this properly and jot down a few ideas. But maybe direct these kind of answers more towards environmental. So, clean air, clean drinking water, the ability to go out and do a hike maybe is important to you, or the ability to swim in nice clean ocean waters is important to you. What do you value? Are you a big animal lover? What's important to you? A bit more in an environmental aspect though. For me, I think my key values will be, having a healthy lifestyle, being able to go outdoors and have access to nature, and secondly, biodiversity. So being able to see all the different types of flora and fauna out there in the world and being excited about that kind of stuff. These are important to me, and as a result I've made some choices in my life where I can value these even more. So doing daily walks to explore my local area, to see what's growing around, to see what's living around in here, to further my knowledge about this stuff. I enjoy watching a lot of documentaries, especially David Attenborough, my number one love. I love watching his docos, so that way I can learn more about our environment and the great biodiversity that we have on this planet Earth, and all that kind of stuff. So because of those things that are important to me, I have picked up some habits along the way. It's important to maintain the environment that we live in. So if I see an invasive weed on one of my walks, I do try to pull it out and discourage it from spreading. Sometimes I pick up a little bit of trash as I'm walking along, depending on the object, of course. But like small things like that do contribute to the overall picture. So by thinking about your values in this manner, I'm hoping that it will help you determine what kind of actions you can take and what kind of actions are available to you to help you achieve a more sustainable life. So tip number 1 is be an energy Nazi. Your mom's always nagging you about turning off the lights when you leave a room. Well, she has the right reason to, because A, you're saving money, B, you're saving energy, and that's important because in Australia we still burn a lot of coal. So C, you're saving the environment by turning off the lights, which means you're burning less coal, therefore you're being a good person. Remind everyone to turn off the lights if they're not using it. Do they need that main light on that has 4 light bulbs, or can they use a lamp? And if you want to take it one step further, Australia did do this a couple years ago. Most households, I believe, have made the switch to energy efficient light bulbs. I know the Australian government provided free light bulbs years ago when I was still very, very little, to encourage houses to make the switch to energy efficient light bulbs, LED light bulbs, because they do last a bit longer. So, you know, take some time out to maybe have a look at what kind of light bulbs you currently have in the house, and, you know, go buy some energy efficient spare light bulbs, so that way, you know, when your light bulbs do fuse out, you have spare energy efficient light bulbs ready to go, and then you will notice a difference in your energy bill as well. And another thing to consider is light bulbs aren't actually recyclable in your yellow recycling bin, because they are considered an electrical waste. So some councils do offer special drop-off locations for those light bulbs that you can go in and drop off. I think some like council offices or libraries, but you can have a look on the internet and see where you can drop those kind of things off. Another thing you can also definitely look into is changing your energy supply. There are some really good options out there now that focus on renewable energies, and they try to combine a mix in their energy supply. So when you turn on the light bulb, not 100% of your energy is coming from coal-fired power stations, but they're actually using a mix. So that way they're actually buying electricity from renewable sources and trying to encourage the market growth that way. A few names to drop is Power Shop, Red Energy. Those are the two main ones off the top of my head, but there's plenty out there. So do some research, see if it's worth it for you. It definitely is worth it for us. When we moved into this place, Power Shop was a lot cheaper for us to use. And then, you know, once you make the switch, it's very seamless, because the energy companies, they handle everything. You just fill out a form and then they just handle everything in terms of transitions. And once you make the switch, you'll forget that you're actually doing a good thing for the environment, because it's so seamless, so seamless and super easy to do. So that's tip number 1, being an energy Nazi. Okay, tip number 2 is to shop with intent. So, you know, when you're going out shopping, buying whatever it is you're buying, ask yourself, do you really need it? Do you really need it? Or do you want it? And I find that asking yourself that question really makes you think about it. Do you really need another t-shirt or shoes? Because God knows I have so many, and I feel like you kind of tend to ask yourself, what's the value of it? Like, do I really need it? Yes or no? I don't necessarily need it, but I really like it. Do I have anything like it at home? No. Then in that case I might treat myself. But if I don't need it, then why am I wasting my money on it? If I already have something like it at home, why am I wasting my money on it? You know what I mean? And then I think in terms of like, if you really want something, then maybe look into like sustainable options for that product. There's so many sustainable fashion brands out there now that, you know, are making clothing out of organic materials, natural fibers, or reusing synthetic fibers that they've caught from the ocean or made from plastic bottles. And those brands are providing a really good option for you to make a better choice. And they're what's making the circular economy go round. At the moment, everything's quite linear, but these brands are reusing what otherwise would have gone straight to landfill, and they're making brand new products out of them. So they're helping us all transition towards a circular economy, but they can't do it without your help, because at the end of the day, money is power, money is your vote. So if you go out and buy products that are made from old plastic bottles or, you know, renewable, reusable fibers, you are telling them, yes, I like you, yes, I want more of you. And you're sending a message to those businesses that, hey, hang on, we're maybe probably doing the right thing. An easy product for you to start shopping with intent is toilet paper. It's so easy. There are so many options out there right now, not necessarily in the shops, but online. You can bulk buy toilet paper made from recycled paper, made from bamboo, made from other sustainable sources, and they're good for your bum and they're good for our environment. They're not super thin like some of those really crappy one ply tissue toilet papers are. They're pretty good, and it's a really easy product to just switch up because you use toilet paper every single day. You can also keep an eye out on certain labels such as fair trade, certified organic. There's so many labels out there that support different aspects of sustainability, so definitely keep an eye out for those when you're shopping, and they can help you make a bit of a more conscious decision. The most important thing is to actually reduce your consumption, because we are buying way too much crap, and then this is happening to me right now. If I had known, I wish, if there was one thing that current me could have told 19-year-old me is, hang on, you don't need that skirt. What you need is to save that money, because in the future you're going to want to buy yourself a house or a car, or those really large expensive purchases. But you know what, you've kind of dug yourself a hole, because in your early 20s you just went and bought way too much crap, and now you're sitting there thinking, I've been working for 10 plus years, where is my money? That's the key thing I would definitely tell younger me. So reduce, my nose is so itchy, reducing your consumption is number one priority. But that said, we can't stop consumption, we can't stop buying things, otherwise how are we going to eat? I mean, to be honest, it's very possible, but in the current system that we are in, it might seem impossible. So what can you do instead? Redirect your finances, redirect your money to shop with brands that you align with. Don't shop at IKEA or Kmart. Go find a local producer, local maker, and buy their stuff instead. Instead of spending your hard-earned money on mass-produced, you're spending your hard-earned money on something that was made with intent, and you will value that piece so much more. It will become like a heritage heirloom that you'll pass down to generations. Like, why don't we have that stuff anymore? Like, it's so hard. If I look at the crap that I have, if I look at the stuff I have in my lives right now, I don't think I have anything that's worth passing down to my future generations as an heirloom. Like, you don't get crap like that anymore, because everything's mass produced, everything's broken within like a couple years. Like, it's so frustrating. The value in things are gone pretty much. Anyway, that's my little rant there. So there are so many brands out there, as I mentioned, that are now more eco-friendly, that are paraben free, toxin free, organic, fair traded, eco certified, yada yada yada. So have a look out there, but also be careful when you're shopping online. You see a brand that's like, oh, we made our stuff from plastic bottles. Check out their website thoroughly, because there have been a few pages where I've been like, oh, that kind of looks cute, but then I look onto the website and I try to read about us, and there's nothing there. Like, there's no description of where they source the bottles from or what kind of fabric they use. They say it's made out of plastic bottles, but how? It's very vague. So in those situations, be cautious, because you might think you're buying with a conscious intent and conscious mind, but actually you're being scammed. And there are businesses out there to just profit shit, So please read the about page and all those other pages that are similar headings under that, to find out whether they're authentic or not. Okay, number 3 is to create less waste. So by shopping with intent, you can create less waste, because you're overall reducing your consumption, hopefully. So that will be less stuff in your home, less hoarding, less things being thrown out, and all that kind of stuff. You can also try buy things without any excess packaging. So like buying your groceries from the farmer's market and saying no to all the plastic bags they might offer you, rather than going to Woolworths and buying things in plastic packets. You can opt for recyclable packaging instead, like cardboard or glass. And I find that this is a nice, fun way to try new things and to explore new places. So like, for example, there's the bulk food stores. They don't provide any packaging when you go and buy produce from them. It's mostly like grains and rice and all that stuff you can bulk buy, but they do encourage you to bring your own container, so you're not creating surplus waste in that sense. You can also generally end up finding better products. Like for example, there's this bottle of shampoo that I purchased for Plastic Free July last year, and it's in a metal aluminium bottle, and it smells divine, like mustics, and it's called No Bar. But I really enjoy that bottle of shampoo. So, you know, have a think about what you are currently running low on in your house, and have a quick internet search to see if there's any other products or other alternatives that you can try that might be a bit more sustainable, and you'll find yourself creating a lot less waste. Like, quick spiel here, I live in a house of 5, and we have a 120 liter bin, which is the smaller garbage bin, not the big one, which is the 240 liter bin, and we throw out approximately 2 plastic bags of garbage every week, and that's in a household of 5. And the key reason is because our recycling is always full. We recycle so much, it gets frustrating that sometimes it gets too full that I end up going to our neighbor's bin and depositing some of our recycling in theirs. And then also because we separate our food wastes and our organic waste, which is about probably 5 liters a week, it reduces our garbage so much. That's another thing you guys can consider. Step number 4 that you guys can try and implement into your life to live a bit more sustainably is to eat better. Everyone knows about this. Everyone's trying to get fit, get healthy, and all that kind of stuff, but it's one of the easiest ways, I think, to reduce your impact on the environment, but also it's better for you and you can live a bit more sustainably. So food waste, which I've talked about in a previous video, does take up a lot of space in the general household's garbage bins, and it does make it smelly, and it putrefies, and it's disgusting. It ends up in landfill, makes methane gas. An easy thing to do is make a shopping list every time you go to the grocery shop, so you don't end up doubling up on produce and having excess food in your fridge. Another thing you can also do is bulk buy stuff and share it with family or friends. Otherwise, sometimes I'll just make a massive meal prep and then freeze half of it, or I'll make a huge meal and invite some friends over so I can demolish the food quickly. Another action you can do is avoid the supermarkets. Maybe make it a little challenge for yourself. It could be quite fun. Avoid the supermarkets like Coles and Woolworths and see what local stores are around you. There could be some farmers markets, there could be a local grocer, a local butcher, and it helps you, I guess, it helps you kind of explore your area, which is quite fun. I do thoroughly enjoy exploring my local area and seeing what shops are around. I'm sure we're all bored of Coles and Woolworths. Have a quick Google search and see what farmers markets might be on this coming weekend for you guys. It's a great way to get out of the house, try new foods, try new places, and have a fun day out with your friends. And most importantly, support the local producers in your area. So recently I found out that out in Western Sydney, there's a road out there where I can buy actually direct from the farmers. So there's a road that has about maybe 6 or 7 different farmers, and they've all got a little fruits veggie stand in their driveway. So you literally just drive into their driveway, hop out, and they've got all these produce that they grow that's ready to buy for you. It's money going directly into the farmer's hands. There's no middleman like Coles or Woolworths. And it's fresh. It's generally cheaper, but if it's not, I do find that it's worth the expense because the produce is generally fresher and of better quality. So yeah, that's step number 4. Eat better. Action number 5 that you guys can try out to have a more sustainable lifestyle is to walk everywhere. Walking requires no resources and it creates 0 emissions. The only thing you need is yourself and your legs, and good shoes. Good shoes. It's simple enough to do. It doesn't require excessive effort, and there are both physical and mental benefits from walking. So just go on and step outside and put one foot in front of the other. Usually my limit, if I'm going out somewhere, is a walk that's 15 to 20 minutes. So like a 15-minute walk to the train station or to the bus stop is okay. But if I'm going out for a general walk, I can end up walking for like an hour or 2. But like, you know, if you need to grab a cup of coffee why not go for a walk and grab that cup of coffee instead of driving there? Or like, you know, brunch or going out somewhere. Mix it up with some public transport and you find yourself walking a bit more. It's better for your health, as I mentioned, and it's a nice way to explore your area, clear your mind and get fresh air. Yeah, that's the things that I kind of like to do, especially when I get bored inside the house. I just go for a walk, grab some coffee. There's a local cafe about 15-20 minutes walk, so you know, 15 minutes walk there, have a coffee, get a nice break, walk back and come back refreshed. It's a nice way to go catch up with your friends, have a chat, socialize. And there's so many cute dogs. There are just so many cute dogs out there in the world, and the best way to see them is by going out for a walk. So that's step number 5. Walk everywhere. The only way you'll possibly create emissions if you're walking is if you had too much baked beans. Step number 6, the last step. This is the most important step that you guys can do, and that is research. Research the crap out of things. Research what's out there, what are the options, what are the alternatives. It's really important to educate yourself about everything, whatever's important to you. This comes back down to your values. So if you value animal cruelty, research what brands are out there that don't do animal testings, or you know, that the eggs that you eat, like maybe they're free range eggs, which is less cruel than barn eggs or caged eggs. And once you've have a thought about what your values are and what's important to you, have a quick internet search about what is out there in terms of alternatives and what kind of habits you can change. There are so many options out there. Just pick one and give it a go. It might be hard at first. You might forget that you've taken up on a certain sustainable action to carry out, but that's okay, because change is hard and change is a process over time, and you need to fail in order to succeed. So be kind to yourself. Take it one step at a time. Set up some small goals and make a list of like things you want to achieve, and that way you can hold yourself accountable for them. Sustainable living isn't as easy as it seems on Instagram or in those magazines. These people who are living sustainably, they have been doing it for many years now, that they've gotten to the point where they look like they're living sustainably in a holistic manner. But if you look back at their lifestyle 5-10 years ago, they were also beginners, but they've just, you know, started the journey a little bit earlier. So, you know, they've already made the mistakes for you guys, and in that sense they've made the job easier for you guys to start your own transition into a sustainable lifestyle. And no one's achieved it overnight, so everyone's making their own journey in different ways, and that's okay. Like, you know, some people might have taken on the vegan journey, or the plastic free journey, or the cycling journey, or the environmental conservation journey. They're all doing different things because that's what they find important to themselves, and they are living a sustainable lifestyle because of that. It's not a list of things that you need to tick off everything to have a sustainable lifestyle. It's making those changes, that conscious effort to make that change, where, you know, you are changing 1 or 2 things in your life, and before you know it, you'll be doing 10 different things. You'll be living a much happier life, a life that is aligned to your values, aligned to your principles, and you'll be so much more content with yourself. So I hope those tips were helpful. I know it might seem a lot, but out of those 6 things, just choose a couple. I think the best ones to probably start off with is asking yourself what's important to you and doing some research off that. So it could be even like women's rights, human rights, all of those kind of stuff. It doesn't have to necessarily be environment based, it can also be society based. I think those are the key steps that you can take to start this journey. And then the easiest physical steps are probably those things that you do in your life every day. So for example, if you're driving every day to work, is there an option for you to take the bus instead? Or is there an option for you to walk halfway to work? Or, you know, maybe you can just drive to the station and then take a train, those kind of things. So maybe just think about like, what are some easy steps that you can do that you're currently doing each day, and see what alternatives there are to make it a little bit more sustainable. I'm gonna go through a very quick list here of other things that you guys can trial if you are interested in. The first thing is obviously get yourself a reusable coffee cup for all your takeaway coffees. This has been said 1,000 times over by everyone. Everyone has a reusable cup now. If you don't and you're still drinking from takeaway coffee cups, go get yourself one, please. Please get yourself one. Number 2, plastic bags are now banned from most supermarkets, but they do still have the reusable ones. So get yourself a reusable shopping bag and just keep on with you all day, every day, because you never know what kind of junk you need to start carrying around, or you might find some stuff, or you might be gifted some stuff and you need something carried around. A bag on hand is always very useful. Number 3 is this thing called Meat-Free Monday that you guys can try out. So it's basically just not eating meat every Monday, and that way you can reduce your meat intake, because the meat industry does have a lot of impacts on the environment, and it's a little bit healthier to eat a bit less meat, because red meat does contribute to heart disease and other illnesses. Number 4, go for a hike. Hikes are really fun. I love hikes. It's a nice way to see nature, go outdoors, see some waterfalls, go for a swim, get your body moving. That's number 4. I feel like once you immerse yourself with nature, you generally start to grow your appreciation for it as well. So go for a hike, go for a walk. It's super easy. Go for as long as you want, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and maybe even think about what you're seeing. Think about what you're feeling, like the breeze or the sunshine. You're hearing nature you're hearing the birds call. You might even, I've noticed in different suburbs that I walk around in, I do hear different bird calls, which I find pretty interesting, but I can never see the birds because they're so tiny. Those are some just extra steps that you guys can take. Sustainability living is a lifestyle. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It will take time. It's a practice. It's a philosophy. It's aligned to your values and how you want to live your life. So it's much more than these 6 steps that I've discussed here today. There's so many other things that you can do, but at the same, it comes down to essentially how you think about things, how you think about your life, how you think about the world and your interactions with it, and that will translate into your actions essentially. In the face of COVID, you might be questioning, what's the point? But it's not just you trying to make these changes in your life, but a lot of other people, and it's the accumulation of everyone doing all these little things that can make a difference. You don't need one person doing sustainability perfectly. It's about 1 million people doing it imperfectly, and that's how change is going to happen. After a period of time frame, you're going to get better at this. It's going to become second nature to you. It's going to become your new habit. So start off with yourself. Choose one thing or a couple of things that you guys can do, a few alternatives to what you are currently using or doing, and then share what you've learned. Communicate it with your friends and family, and see what their experiences might be, or see what their opinions might be, and that will help you develop and grow even more. And before you notice, your friends will be doing stuff with you as well, and you guys are all going to be on the same journey together, and you guys will be noticing a major difference in your lifestyle. But I wish you all the best with your journey, and I hope you guys find this video interesting and useful. If you guys want me to break down some of these steps even more, please let me know in the comment box down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe somewhere. Sustainability can be overwhelming, but at the end of the day, you're doing the right thing, and I think that's what keeps me motivated to make sure that we leave the environment as we found it, or as nature intended. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.